last video, we have learned about Wheatstone's network, which is used to find out unknown resistance of any conductor. Instead of conductor, you can put any device also whose resistance is to be found out. Now, the practical working of Wheatstone's network is considered as a meter bridge, which is the new article or today's article for you. What is meter bridge? Then it is practical modification of Wheatstone's network. Meter bridge is nothing but a practical modification of what? Wheatstone's network. So how it is prepared? It is simple one. It needs wooden plank about 1 meter in a length. It should be definitely more than 1 meter. A uniform metal wire is stretched on that wooden plank. Uniform metal wire is stretched on the wooden plank. Now, if I say this is the wooden plank on which the uniform wire is stretched between these 2 points. Say wire AB is stretched. This wire is uniform, having good resistance is preferred. For example, nichrome wire is used there. Then at terminal A and B, 2 L-shaped strips of metals are fixed using nails. So if I draw how it will look like, then these are 2 L-shaped metal strips are fixed. Okay, and the third metal strip is fixed between these 2 so that it forms 2 gaps. This is first gap, this one is second gap. 2 L-shaped strips of metals are fixed at points A and B, whereas third metal strip is fixed between first 2 plates so that it forms 2 gaps. Now a uniform scale, wooden scale, is fixed here below that wire. This is the general structure of meter bridge. I am not very precise in drawing diagram, but you consider this is the practical structure of meter bridge. Now, why it is called meter bridge? Here, the uniform wire which is selected here is of having length equal to 1 meter or equal to 100 centimeter. Hence, it is called meter bridge. Did you understand this? Just go through the again terminals: wooden plank, wire AB stretch, 2 metal strips, between them third metal strip is fixed so that it is forming 2 gaps. Uniform scale, wooden scale is just fixed using nails just below the wire. This apparatus is called as meter bridge. Now we will learn use of meter bridge to find unknown resistance. Now already I have shown you diagram, so we will draw the circuit diagram which is necessary for it. Consider unknown resistance X is connected in a gap of meter bridge. A resistance box, or we can call it variable resistor, R, is connected in a 1 gap. So if I say this is wire, instead of calling AB, now I will call it wire AC. These are metal strips. This point I will label as point B. This is point C. This is unknown resistance X. Now the positive terminal of cell I am going to connect at point A. negative terminal of cell is connected to key and then to the rheostat, variable terminal of the rheostat. This is simple circuit diagram which is used to find unknown resistance X. I am repeating, X is to be determined, R is connected as resistance box which is considered as variable resistance. You must have familiar with it. Now a sensitive galvanometer is connected at terminal B and one end of that galvanometer is connected to the sliding key which can be slided over wire AC. Now if I compare this diagram with Wheatstone's network, then you can see that this is X, this is R, and galvanometer is connected here, and so A, B, C and D. You can see that cell is connected between terminal A and C. Terminal B is connected to galvanometer. Now you know that. What is the, let X be the unknown resistance which is to be determined. R is the known resistance in a resistance box. Let R be the radius of the wire. Remember, here wire should be very uniform. Radius of wire. Say rho is the resistivity of wire, and say L be the length of wire. Now what is the procedure is here? Suppose you switch on this. When key is closed, current will flow, that current will reach to point A. Exactly similar as that of Wheatstone's network. Now that current will find two paths from point A. Current I1 will flow through X, then to point B, then R, and then will reach to C and will complete the cycle. Whereas current I2 will flow through wire AC, that is meter bridge wire. Now when we will discuss the procedure, current I1 and I2 will start flowing and will reach to point C. Current here at point C again, at point C, current I is equals to I1 plus I2. It can be written by Kirchhoff's junction law. Now you know the balancing condition of Wheatstone's network. If it is R1, it is R2, it is R3 and it is R4, then the balancing condition of Wheatstone's network is R1 upon R2 equal to R3 upon R4. This condition is obtained when current through galvanometer is 0. Now here we have to find the same condition. Now here the wire of galvanometer is connected to sliding key. We have to keep it on wire at point A. Now we have to check whether the galvanometer is showing deflection or not. Now we'll put that wire from point A and we'll keep it at point C. Now we'll check what is the direction of deflection in the galvanometer. Suppose initially galvanometer show deflection towards left side, it have to show deflection towards right side. Means what? One current from left direction, another current from right direction, so they are opposing each other. So there may be certain point between A and C where this network is going to be balanced. We have to find the same point exactly now. To find that, we will again place the wire. Before that, actually I forgot, sorry. Using rheostat, we will give certain amount of deflection for the galvanometer, and will after that we are not going to change the setting of rheostat. Now we will touch the sliding key at different points on the wire and will observe the deflection at every point. And now you will get a point where deflection in a galvanometer is 0. Suppose we got that point D at length L1 from point A, so that length L2 from point C. Now if you see ABGD, BGDC or BCDGB, these are all similar to Wheatstone's network. Now here network is balanced, then it will obey the condition of Wheatstone's balancing condition. So according to this condition, here let R1 is the resistance of length L1 of meter bridge wire, whereas R2 is resistance of length L2 of that meter bridge wire. But you know that resistivity rho is equals to RA upon L, that implies rho equal to R1 into pi R square upon L1. Similarly, then therefore I will write L1 is equals to, R1 is equals to rho into L1 upon pi R square. Similarly, I will get R1 equal to rho L1 upon pi R square, so that R2 equal to rho L2 upon pi R2 square. Since radius is constant, resistivity is also constant. Now R1 is X, R2 is R, R3 is here R1 and R4 is R2. So using this balancing condition, I can write, I can say that X upon R is equals to R1 upon R2, but substituting values of R1 and R2, that is rho L1 upon pi R square divided by rho L2 upon pi R square. You can see rho pi R square get cancelled. So X upon R is equals to L1 upon L2. So total length is 100 centimeter. If this is L1, then instead of writing L2, I can write it is 100 minus L1. Therefore, it is L1 upon 100 minus L1. Therefore, again you will get X is equals to R into L1 upon 100 minus L1. Using this formula, you can find unknown resistance of the wire. Now here some precautions are needed to be taken. We have to lift the sliding key and keep on different point. We do not need to slide. The reason is that when you will slide it, there will be some gain of thermal energy. Friction will cause heat and will increase the resistance, which is not necessary in the experiment. We have to keep resistance of that wire AC is constant. Here one important point is that again, the null point should be obtained between 33 centimeter to 66 centimeter, because the balancing condition says that half part, that is ABD, and the remaining half part BCD should have same potential differences. To make them same, it should be obtained 33 to 66 centimeter. This method is called a null point method. Now using next method, you can find resistance of, instead of calling unknown resistance, I will say find resistance of any device. Here we are going to find resistance of galvanometer. This method were proposed by Sir Kelvin, hence it is also called Kelvin's method. Now instead of unknown resistance X, you are going to connect galvanometer. Here galvanometer is not connected between terminal B. Instead of that, directly a sliding key is connected. Now if I did not connect sliding key, then definitely current starts flowing. Current flows through wire that current reached to point A divided into two parts. Now galvanometer is showing deflection which is not equal to 0 because its cycle is complete. Now what we have to do is, we have not touched sliding key on wire AC. Still galvanometer is showing deflection. Here some amount of current is definitely distributed in two parts. First part towards A, B, C. Second part towards AC directly. Now what we have to do is, the same procedure is to be repeated. Just only we have to touch the sliding key at wire A, at point A, then different points will obtain. Suppose initially galvanometer is showing deflection of 15 division. Now this is before touching sliding key. Now with touching sliding key we have to obtain the same division as previous, that is 15 division. This method is called equal deflection method. This method is called equal deflection method, and the same results will be obtained here. There will be length L1, L2 similar to Wheatstone's network. If G is the resistance of galvanometer, then I can write G upon R is equals to L1 upon 100 minus L1. Therefore G equal to R into L1 upon 100 minus L1. Again the same precaution, instead of galvanometer, if you want to connect ammeter, then resistance of coil of ammeter also can be found out, coil of voltmeter also can be found out. So this instrument is basically used to find unknown resistance.